Okay, so this was probably, I don't know, one of the most, to me, it was one of the most intriguing things I got out of the seminar. A lot of what I watched in that seminar, there was a lot of sales pitch. I mean, they're all trying to sell their strategy and their schemes and their videos and all that sort of stuff. And this Dr. Barry Burns, he's the same thing. He has a strategy and he has his website, the topdogtrading.com or whatever. And he has several strategies, but one of the ones he was pitching in the seminar was trading based on trend, and you determine your trend patterns based on momentum. So that idea kind of intrigued me, and he has his own, his own analytics tool. He has his own way of tracking momentum and ways of doing all these different indicators. So you can go to his website and you can buy into his program for a measly $1,000 or something like that. Or I kind of paid attention to what was going on and thought I did my best to try to apply his theories and ideas to some of the technical analytics that we are currently using, some of the ones that we are talking about. So what I did was create kind of this 5 steps here on how best to apply his method of finding when a trend is about to shift from like an upward to a downward or a downward to an upward. So basically use a weekly chart because you're looking for long trends. In this instance, I suppose I didn't really try to apply it to a daily or even a 15-minute, or, I mean, if you want to day trade, you could apply it to a 15-minute chart or some such, but this was how I put it together, was a weekly chart. Look for your price trend. It's your price is either falling or coming back up. Use the RSI to really mark where your high and your lows are on that trend. And from there, you're going to start counting the momentum changes and the crossovers from that 0 point by using the MACD histogram, which we've been looking at. And then his strategy really is you want 5 or more points of momentum change. And then after that 5 or more points, once you get this crossover, that should signify that a trend change is happening. And I know that sounds confusing, but I do have some examples. So let me see if I can move you guys around here a little bit. So this one's Ethereum. This is a weekly chart of Ethereum. Obviously, you can see it's in a downtrend, right? So I went ahead and marked the trend lines, right? So going high to low, here's our trend, and the blue line down here is your RSI. So here's the peak of the RSI, and pretty much there's the bottom. So that was how I confirmed that I'm at my top and my bottom here. And then what we're looking for, here's a crossover, right? And then let's keep marking them. The colors can signify a momentum change from an upward momentum to a downward momentum, or a downward momentum to an upward momentum. So basically, the easiest way is to look for the color changes, right? So I'm going to keep marking them for you. And if you count them between our 2 lines, our highs and our lows, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he says 5 or more. So sometimes you can have 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, but there's 5 here. And then what he's saying is that you would wait for this chart to cross over. And that would mean your downward trend is actually going to start an upward trend. So now this is Ethereum. And remember, they were telling us that this is kind of a false breakout. It's not going to keep going, all this sort of stuff. While it looks like it's about to make a trend change, I'm hoping that it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't even cross over. Maybe it just keeps going, right? And if that's the case, then you would keep adding your momentum arrows and possibly find where the new bottom bottom is. So it's not like I'll jump in right away. So this one was bros. I know people are in bros or were in bros. So I thought I would just bring this one up. Kendra, are you still in bros?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see if you like this or not. So same thing, right? I'm marking my highs and my lows and basically putting them where the RSI says, here's the high, here's the low. And then I'm going to go ahead and find where my crossovers are and where my momentum changes are. And I conveniently put little arrows on here for everybody. So you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right through here. And at this point, we're looking for the crossover. So I was looking at this because we kind of get 5 points, right? And there is a crossover at this spot. And why isn't this a trend change right here? And it's basically because your RSI, you follow your RSI, and your RSI needs to continue a downward momentum for the same trend. We're doing a downward trend right now. And at this point, your RSI was really flat or sideways almost, which tells you that wasn't quite the bottom yet. So that's why we really want to double check our prices with the RSI in this instance. So let's see, this one's SoFi. I know there's a lot of people still in SoFi, I think so, but not, I don't know. Todd, did you get into SoFi?
The answer is yes, but I got out of it. It was killing. I got out of most of my stocks. I want to sort of start over. My strategy is I want to see positive, and so I just took most of my losses, and now I just want to start buying low and watching it.
Okay, well,
Right.
I think that's great because I'm trying to point out that I think a lot of these things may be kind of bottoming out, but I think I would get into them hesitantly, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I just couldn't take the losses any longer. I said, you know what? I'd rather just start building my money back up again and getting these things at dollars, pennies on the dollar again. And so so I'm looking at them, and some of them I'm upset I already didn't get back into some of them, like, because but I do want to start looking at some, and I've also been really busy too, but I do want to start looking. I love this, what you did, because I'd like to find like a couple stocks that I can really watch and start off at this low price because of what's going on.
Yeah, and I think with these long trends, I mean, hopefully you get an equal long trend upward.
Yeah. Jan, are you still in bros? Oh, she's on mute.
Oh, okay.
She's talking but doesn't know she's on mute.
No,
Yeah.
I know I'm on mute. I was trying to unmute. No, I'm not in anything. I sold everything.
Oh, you took my strategy.
Yes.
Right. Well, that's good, because then you're holding what you're holding and you can find some good things to jump into now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why I like this presentation, because this is sort of giving me like maybe another strategy to start looking at someone that I could just do exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm finding it really intriguing to see how it plays out. So yeah, I mean, this is SoFi. It's the exact same thing here, where you go through and then count your points, and then there's a crossover, right? So right at this point, right around here, if you were to buy into it, it's, according to his theory, it should start trending upwards. So I was going to try to make sure everybody who's still in SoFi that maybe it'll start turning around for everybody based on this strategy. So it'll be interesting to see if it does. Let's see where Ford. I needed Sari here because I know she's been upset about Ford.
I was in Ford also for a long time and couldn't take it any longer. It's like, it's just, some of this is psychological too. Like, I just can't keep taking losses. It's like, oh my gosh, I had Ford for a long time. I even got Ryan in Ford. I was just like, I'm getting out of that too. Like I said, I'm just planning on starting from scratch again and
Yeah.
build back up.
I know it's tough.
Ford.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so maybe because what I did was I did the upward trend and the downward trend. So let's see if we can bring them in. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, That's the crossover 4, 5, and 6 points, right, on the upward trend. Same thing where you pick the bottom to the top on the RSI, which follows the same price pattern. And then you're looking for that crossover. So the crossover would tell you the upward pattern is changing and it's time to get out at that instance, right? So then you would take that same point, which is your high with your RSI, and find your bottom with the RSI. And now you've got your downward trend, right? And we're looking for 5 points or more to suggest that that the trend has changed. And there's a lot of them. So at this point, right, we have completed the pattern strategy that is put together. And so all we need left is to wait and have it crossover. And you can already see, I mean, there's like a straight line down here. And it is breaking above that channel.
So is this a good time to buy, Andy?
Well, I'd wait and see if it crosses over.
I see what you're saying, but it's weird because it looks like like, so if you go by that, I understand. Then but when you look at the chart, it looks like
if you look at a daily chart, it's going to be a completely different representation. So this is a weekly.
Weekly chart. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So look at it by a weekly and then try to determine if you're ready to get in or not. And then you can break it down and get into a daily chart and do your other analysis with it, apply your stochastics and look at the volume and all the other technical indicators that we've been looking at. But this is a way to kind of look at the big picture to find these trend shifts, which I just think a lot of what we want to do right now is where's the bottom? Right? Things just keep falling and falling and falling, and where is that bottom? And it's going to obviously be different on every stock, but this is a strategy just to try and see if it works for us. I think that was my last example that I had.